Here's my speech about an issue that's unaccounted for in the world. It's become rather evident in recent years that the political state of America is unstable. Though the causes of this divisiveness and constant turmoil are often displayed on TV in vibrant colors and polarizing headlines, the effects are seemingly much less accounted for. Reading and writing are commonly seen as rudimentary aspects of one's contribution to modern-day society. But these things have started to become less and less prevalent in certain areas of the country. Ultimately, the educational implications of things like income inequality, unqualified teachers, and social instability have come to fruition in the form of an ever-decreasing literacy rate within America's youth populations, primarily those who possess less privilege socioeconomically. To begin fully understanding the origins of America's decreasing literacy rate, one must first understand the concept of income inequality. Essentially, this phenomenon occurs when wealth is much more prominent in certain groups than others. This uneven distribution is often separated by barriers like education, location, and sex. In the context of literacy amongst youth populations within the United States, education and location are typically the barriers. In certain areas of the country that are more saturated with poverty, it's not only difficult for children to receive a proper education, but also likely that their parents don't have the socioeconomic means to propel them towards an education. In a study done by Regis College for the article Child Illiteracy in America, Statistics, Facts, and Resources, it notes some 73% of children with undereducated parents, less than a high school diploma, live in low-income settings. The correlation between lack of education amongst older populations and the decreasing literacy rate of children is undoubtedly viable, and income inequality is the main contributor to this connection. Children that grow up in environments void of things like reading, writing, and proper linguistic skills are some of the main contributors to this widespread issue. However, diminishing literacy in conjunction with income inequality produces additional unexpected byproducts. It's proven that illiteracy also goes hand in hand with unemployment, as a lack of intellectual capacity within the workforce is a direct detriment to the American labor force. Keeping this in mind, it's apparent that income inequality has a widespread negative impact on the socioeconomic state of America, primarily in the realm of literacy. However, it's certainly not the sole contributor to America's decreasing youth literacy rate. In recent years, the prominence of underqualified teachers and surface-level teaching methods have drastically increased, creating a buffer between novice students and academic excellence. Some blame this lack of quality labor on an overall lack of interest in the profession of education, while others claim that teachers need a more structured curriculum to get through to students. An article entitled "The Literacy Crisis in the U.S. is Deeply Concerning and Totally Preventable" notes that too many teachers enter the profession without any training in evidence-based reading instruction, which means they lack the knowledge to effectively teach their students how to read. Receiving an education does not necessarily mean gaining the ability to read and write, and this discrepancy has become increasingly visible in recent years. Ultimately, it's been proven that subpar learning environments lead to subpar educations, and this causation can be directly observed in the decreasing literacy rate in America. However, though childhood illiteracy is widespread and ever-growing, this does not eliminate the possibility for change. In fact, many have begun brainstorming ways to halt the issue before it becomes completely irreversible. In Childhood Illiteracy, a Hidden Crisis in the United States, which is an article, when addressing the presence of such programs that have been created to halt the issue, it explains, there are many philanthropic organizations such as the Strive Higher reading program. These types of organizations are seemingly effective in assisting uneducated children on a small scale, and dozens of success stories exist regarding the relationship between these welfare programs and a child's successful education. This being said, many believe that unless these programs begin to exist all throughout the United States, not just in a few select areas. There will be no change in the large-scale American childhood illiteracy rate. Government intervention is commonly seen as an alternate way to tackle the issue, but this solution has its own skeptics, as many believe government intervention would entail a focus on eliminating poverty first rather than directly tackling illiteracy, which could lead to an unsuccessful domino effect. Though solutions are prominent, it's evident that they're still in the early stages of being implemented. Until an organized resistance to childhood illiteracy reveals itself, it's likely that progress is stagnant. Though relatively unaccounted for in the everyday headlines regarding America's socioeconomic landscape, childhood illiteracy is a deeply rooted and widespread issue, and its cause remains contemporary in things like income inequality, outdated teaching methods, and a lack of passion in opposition to it. It's prominent in all areas of the United States, not solely those directly affected by some of the factors previously mentioned. Whether addressed town by town or on a national scale, the issue of childhood illiteracy will require utmost commitment and attention to be fully dismantled within the United States. Thank you. It was